Ooh, good morning.
I will be doing a general news conference at 2 p.m. at Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach. Thank you. Now, as Stephanie Grisham explains, Trump's self-announced press conference today at 2 p.m., he's panicking. I've seen this play many times. She worked with him. He thinks his team is failing him, and no one can speak better or save his campaign, defend him, but him. He hates the coverage Vice President Kamala Harris is getting, and he thinks that he is the only one who can fix it. Just take a look at these post after post that Donald Trump made this morning. Starting very early, Donald Trump goes, if Kamala has 1,000 people at a rally, the press goes crazy and talks about how big it was, and she pays for her crowd. No, she doesn't. When I have a rally and 100,000 people show up, the fake news doesn't talk about it. They refuse to mention crowd size. The fake news is the enemy of the people.
Now,
Here's today's clip on how to define.
now, see, that's Donnie, right? And if we could just stick to what's relevant, he'd be okay, right? But he goes on and on and on about it. I mean, like his convention speech was an embarrassment, right? So, but the real deal is when he goes fake news, blah, 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 or it's fixed, blah, 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 or it's this, blah, blah, blah. Well, in essence, he's right. You know, we haven't had a real, we're not a democracy, we're a republic. And we're run by old white men who own land, period. That's it. The rest of us, like, I'm African American, that's melanin challenged, you know. So let's check out the radio.
Someone so clearly isn't presidential material.
Yes.
It just looks like a money laundering operation.
Oh, it's really true. Well, the other thing about her.
The thing about Kamala is that she's like everyone else in politics, she's a poster girl. She's not, has no depth, she's no real, she's just been going through the motions her whole career because she's being prepped for this. Okay? So, you know, what is it? You know, just wait till Kamala Harris gets to be president, but I don't think she's going to. I think Joe Biden is going to declare martial law, right? And that'll be it. We will have never-ending war. We'll have war in Europe, and we'll have war in the Gaza Strip. And we'll have exchanges of nuclear weapons that will degrade planet well-being. Like one of the reasons Australia has such high skin cancer and crazy weather is that in the 50s or early 60s, England detonated its own hydrogen bomb out there in the middle of the deserts of Australia, right? And they did it not like on a tower on the ground. They shot it way up into, maybe 20, 30 miles up into space, thinking that would, basically keep the place from totally irradiating all of Australia. So boom, right? And what did it do? It blew a gigantic hole in the ozone. They weren't thinking about that one. And it wasn't like CFCs, this was like a hydrogen bomb. So it boomed a hole there and never really fixed itself. Like we're still suffering from the CFC damage that we had from the 1940s to the 1970s, right? So it's slowly and surely kind of growing back around us, but still we're having, the United States has some severe, so does Europe, skin cancer rates, right? And what's really interesting is that within the dynamics of public health, we did not have asthma. We did not have, people allergic to things, 100 years ago. It's only since industrialization of our food and our environment that we started, getting our histamine responses, working overtime, right? Our histamine response is like the early warning radar of our immune system, right? And when it sees something, it has no idea what it is, but it seems like, this might kill me. It responds. That's why we have anaphylactic shock. And we used to not have it at all, except if you got bit by a nasty, poisonous snake or insect. Pretty much that was it. And so. So anyway, okay, so let's see what the radio has to say. They make the X so small you can't see it. Okay, here's August 7th, 11:42 p.m.
They want a woman in there, and they don't have a really good field of women in the Democratic Party. So, they're trying to see what can we work with.
So he's talking about Kamala Harris. So she came down the pipeline that Mount Leposky and all those girls from San Francisco, right? And it's the most corrupt political arm. I mean, there is no political arm that's not corrupt. Every politician, from the dog catcher to the president, is useless and is representing not you, but an unseen hand. So, I go on about this. If no one else is, and is there anybody there? Is there anybody? Nope, nobody's there. 8 minutes. Let's see what else we got here.
Well, yes, I saw this world exactly like that. It started really early. We had supervision without love. It was just hard, very hard and brutal.
Katrina, what was it like for you? This.
This is a BBC doing an interview of these two people who were in a cult in Chile, right? And there is no such thing as a good cult because people, once they get ultimate power, they don't want to let it go, and it corrupts them. The guy who, went to Oregon from India, no, not Trump, but someone very much like him, and he went to there, and he took over this county and this town, and he brought overnight lots of money and into a little place just like here, and bought up all the real estate, and then tried to take over the politics. It didn't work out too good. And the lady who was the head administrator, and she was just the young woman. She, was ready to kill, maim, and destroy no less than Vladimir Putin, right? No less than Bibi. No less than the Sierra Leone two guys, the two generals who are pretending to have a war against each other, but all they're doing is killing their own people. That's where really a lot of people are dying. In the Gaza Strip, there's about 2 million people have been pushed around. Out there in Sierra Leone, it's 8 million, right? And that'll end up. There are more people starving there than in the Strip. Strip is very visible, even though Israel is trying to clamp down on the media. It can't really. So anyway, and that is coming home. Everything always comes home to roost. So that's coming home to America, because you have to realize that we've been paying for this um, horror show that's going on in the Gaza Strip and Israel. And that little term, from the river to the whatever, that was first a Zionist calling, from 1918, from the Balfour Declaration. Right? That was pretty much it. So when the thing called the Greater Israel, right? So anyway, so this stuff has all been going on. It's all pretty much scripted, just like the war in Ukraine is scripted, and just like the war that's coming towards the EU is scripted, and the fact that the United States is like sending all this hardware of its navy into a very tight little spot to, help up Israel. Well, they could have a very bad day, and Iran and us and Hezbollah and the Houthis could get really lucky and sink a few of those American ships, right? And what we do, we lose the Gerald Ford, $14 billion, 5,000 guys. So, hubris is a bad thing. So we have something like that. It'll be very similar to what happened to Spain, and when the Spanish Armada was sunk, right, by a storm, right, and the English Navy too. They were in on it, and that's why they claimed victory and took over the world, right? So there you go. So that's what we're heading into, a world change like that, but with hydrogen bombs and jet bombers, and intercontinental ballistic missiles with MIRVs on them, So I have no idea. Don't believe a word I say. I'm just giving you perspective that pretty much is out there, but no one's stringing it together, right? No one's talking about the Hail Hydra. Stan Lee, he was the only one in the major media who was, and he was smart enough to put it in comic books. Fantastic Four, the mutants. These are all things that are true. Oh, you just look at the surface and then dig down. The Tuskegee experiments with black men and syphilis, right? You think that's the only thing horrifically terrible? No. So, anyway, but nobody there, that's why there's nobody watching this one. Nobody wants to be responsible. No one. So that's why I do the show. I do the show because I was told, don't worry, you can't change anything, but you can tell people, right? And since you've been given the ability to parse this stuff up, and you have had a great deal of experience, it's up to you, me, to tell you the story, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm your griot. I tell you the story, right? So here we are, 14 minutes and 31 seconds, and nobody's here yet, and I may just go, right? And so you may not see me for a while because I have no money. No money. I spent my last $10 on this nice breakfast and talking to you guys, and so I may or may not go up, and we're supposed to have a lot of rain. So when it rains, the man cave becomes Noah's Ark, and so anyway, but I got plenty of food in cans, and I cooked up some stuff. So that basically turns into my condiment that I make other things with. So that's where I'm at. And so I hope you're doing well. I'm hanging in there. I'm happy. I'm living like a millionaire on whatchamacallit, on $800 a month. Well, really $400. $400 I have my electric bill, this, that, and the other things I pay every month, right? So I have just, $400 that I can, spend on things like a nice breakfast, right? But I do save a little money. That's how I was able to, spend $1,800 on fixing the whale, and it's doing pretty good. So I would love it if you guys pray. So I bought a Mega Millions ticket today, and so let us all pray that your Sensei Al Bob here, his boat comes in with that ticket, because if that does, I'm taking it on the road. I am going to fund this across the universe, and have a good time. I'm gonna bring the band on the road and have a good time, right? So that's the motif. I hope you're doing good. Just still warm. That's good enough. Okay. So I'm gonna go before it really starts to rain. And we stay well. Okay. I love you guys. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And every day and every way we take the peace of the earth and make it stronger through our compact with God's unconditional love for us, with God's faith in us, and God's faith in Jesus' unconditional forgiveness, right? So all you have to do is, we were given 10 commandments. Number one in Sermon on the Mount is where that prayer came from, Jesus. He basically said, hey, you don't have to worry about anything. Just treat everyone like you want to be treated. If you do that, everything is golden. It's all good, right? So the rest is, it's there for you to learn about, right? But don't let yourself be manipulated. Like Christianity, the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, they're all the same. Have faith by human beings, we're all human beings. We have no white species, black species, African species, Middle Eastern species, Chinese species. No. Human is a species. Different cultures, yes, but species, we're all one creature. And we're here to learn. You are not this. This is an avatar that your spirit moves through and experiences things, right? And so don't get too hung up in the physical, because it's only an illusion. So, you stay well, be good. I'll catch you guys later. It's almost 20 minutes. I might stick at this until it gets to be 2020. I like it. It's those interesting shamanic synchronistic moments. But waiting for them, it's like waiting for, a watch pot never boils. Look how long time can take. Really is. It's like a minute. It's only 49 seconds. It's still got another 20 to go. Still another 17 to go. Okay. See, and then it jumps straight to 20 minutes. And so we're going to leave at 20 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay? Okay. Unless someone comes out and wants to ask a question. I'll give you that 20 seconds to. Okay, there it is.